Okay, hi, hello, hi. Oh, it's hot. All right, so I said that I was gonna be making casual content, and I tried. I tried so hard. I just have a lower tolerance, I guess, for boring, uninteresting content. I found myself making these videos in my drab house clothes without like strass glued to my eyelids and stuff and drawn on freckles. And I was like, if I'm bored with myself, everyone else is gonna find that content intolerable. So the plan is I upcycle clothes and you watch me doing that while you listen to my voice speaking to you from a much cooler place than over here. So I've got my sewing kit over here. This is a pin holder, I guess. I don't know what it's called. Boop. This has buttons. I got this when I was living in Dubai and it had cardamom tea in it. And in here, I have a bunch of sewing supplies like threads and needles and pins and whatever this is. Let's bring on the pile of clothes. This is all the clothes that I want to alter or repair. It's a lot. I'm not gonna do it all today. Do not think that that's happening because I am not a person that gets things done in general. I don't want this video to turn into an existential crisis again. I just want to sew. This is a top that I thrifted. Let me show you what it looks like now and what I can't show you what it's gonna look like because I have no idea. I like the color, I like that it's 100% cotton. I do not like what's going on with the sleeves. So I'm turning on the AC and you can just watch me and listen to me, but two different me's, okay? I don't know why I'm explaining it so thoroughly, but here we go. As I'm doing this thrift flip, I'm listening to a podcast on my phone. And for me, protecting my phone from drops and damage for as long as possible is really important in order to save money and to not overconsume tech. So I'm really glad today's sponsor, Pila, is here to save our phones sustainably. Pila makes plant-based phone cases that are 100% compostable, which means they'll break down in a backyard or industrial compost, but of course not in your pocket. Pila cases are also super soft and drop-proof with military-grade protection for up to 6 feet, which is almost 2 meters. Pila is also B Corp certified, which is a pretty big deal. Only businesses that meet the highest social and environmental standards receive this certification. They're also climate neutral certified and a member of the 1% for the planet, where they contribute at least 1% of sales each year to an environmental cause. I have the lavender hemp model, but there are so many other colors and designs to choose from, like this beautiful green color, and this print, and this print, and these cute little bees. And you can also accessorize with a Pila grip for a little extra protection for those of us that tend to drop our phones a lot. I've had my Pila case for a few months now. It's by far the most trustworthy phone case that I've ever had. And I'm not just saying that because they're sponsors. It really does feel so soft when you hold it, and it saved my phone from so many drops already. The first 50 subscribers to visit the link in my description and use the code KristenLeo will get 50% off their order. Huge thank you to Pila, and let's get back to the video. First off, I kind of want to mention why I'm so interested in the topic of beauty in general, because I touched on body hair and femininity in my previous video, and now I'm doing plastic surgery, and who knows what I'm gonna do next. But the reason why I've been so intrigued by this topic is because a lot of the beliefs that I held in regards to beauty have kind of been deconstructed lately. Quitting relationships with men has also pushed me to feel a lot more comfortable with exploring what I like personally for myself and not how do I want to make myself look in order to appeal to the male gaze, in order to attract a male partner. And because of that, I've been a lot more able to kind of liberate myself from a lot of societal beliefs in regards to beauty that I personally don't hold. But not only that, I think also since there is such a growing discussion around white supremacy and around racist beauty ideals, that has also pushed me to evaluate and kind of scrutinize my own beliefs that might be rooted in white supremacist ideals. Also, another thing is that I'm very close to 30 and, I'm starting to reach a point where I'm noticing lines around my face. I'm starting to see the impact of just sitting out in the sun for the entire summer and getting baked like a potato. and regretting that thoroughly. So yeah, that topic's been a little bit on my mind, and I want to discuss it because I feel like either people are strictly anti-plastic surgery, like plastic surgery is for hags and for like desperate women that are victims of the patriarchy, and it's either people on the other side that get plastic surgery and just in general feel a lot of shame around it. And I feel like it's such an interesting topic to kind of break down and to figure out, where do our negative beliefs towards plastic surgery come from? Where do our negative beliefs towards the things that plastic surgery tries to quote unquote fix come from? So the number one topic in regards to discourse around plastic surgery has been that plastic surgery isn't feminist. Personally, I believe from the moment that under a patriarchal, capitalist, white supremacist system, women are at a disadvantage in the first place. And so women participating in, becoming more quote unquote feminine in the ways that femininity is defined currently in our culture, I can't blame women for doing that. Essentially, what you're doing is you're just trying to make your life easier, more tolerable. You're trying to make your face or your body more accepted by others, whether that's your employers, whether that's in order to give yourself more opportunities on social media, whether that's to, get yourself on Love Island, or whether that's to attract a partner. Whatever the reason is, plastic surgery is used in order to give yourself a leverage in the society that you're currently living in. I don't think that that's either wrong or right. People do a lot of things to give themselves a leverage in life, and plastic surgery is only one of them. Getting a degree, for example. You are giving yourself a leverage against people that don't have degrees. Is that wrong? Is that right? Like, there's no way to kind of put moral value on something like that. It's just something that you do in order to make your life easier, in order to feel more accepted, or in order to make more money. But there is a counter argument here, though, one that I guess I slightly agree with, which is, if you are doing all of this stuff and getting all this work done in order to look as feminine as possible, what happens is the people that have the financial ability to pay someone to make them look as quote unquote feminine as possible, these people do get an unfair advantage over everyone else. And not only that, whether it's plastic surgery that is very visible or whether it's very well done non-visible plastic surgery, most people that we are seeing on our screens, a lot of people on social media even, are now getting work done. And so when you are exposed to a lot of people that have had work done, you start seeing your face the way it normally is, as if something's wrong with it. So I'm kind of obsessed with summer reality dating shows. And I've been watching Love Island UK, and what I've noticed is that pretty much all women on Love Island UK have had their lips done. I've observed that every time I watch a 1 hour episode, afterwards my face, when I look at myself in the mirror, it just feels so warped. And I feel like I have no lips. There are no lips there. I am lipless. And so I've noticed a direct correlation between being exposed to people with a lot of work done on their face, and that actually leading to me viewing my face as abnormal. And so the more mainstream plastic surgery becomes, the harder it is to view yourself and your natural features if you haven't had anything done as normal, and the more likely it is for you to feel pressure to get work done. And so if other people react in the same way that I do, I'd assume that in a world where, more and more women get plastic surgery, then it's very likely that more and more people are going to feel pressured into getting plastic surgery. I do think that there are certain instances where all it takes is to just learn how to build up your confidence. It's impossible to 100% fix the world around us. And so if everyone feels pressured into getting plastic surgery, or if everyone in your circle is getting work done, etc., it's much more important for us to learn ways to build ourselves up and to feel confident with the features that we already have, or even to be comfortable with asking ourselves, okay, if everyone's, doing this X thing to their face, for example, and that makes me want to do it, let me question why I want to do this. And is the reason why because I also like that and I want to do that, but I feel really embarrassed getting work done because there's a lot of stigma attached to plastic surgery? Or do I want to do this simply because I feel like I want to fit in? Because I have been shamed by someone. I have been made fun of for a feature on my body that was never a problem for me, but ever since I got made fun of it, now it's a problem. And so I think it's like a case by case basis. And in the situations where you only feel insecure about something because someone else made fun of it, I don't think that plastic surgery should be the first solution there. One of the other things is that I think it's kind of obvious how a lot of plastic surgery trends are sort of rooted in either white supremacist beauty ideals and also the fetishization of the features of women of color. And there's also the ageist aspect where you're getting plastic surgery in order to maintain youthful looking features. And I think that these labels make the issue sound very black and white and very demonizing towards plastic surgery. And I don't think it's as black and white as it sounds. Yes, there are definitely aspects within plastic surgery where, for example, with nose surgeries, no one's getting nose surgery in order to make their nose more ethnic looking. It's usually always getting plastic surgery on your nose in order to make it look as, vanilla as possible. So the issue is not, plastic surgery itself. The issue is the beauty ideals. And I think what can also help is like identifying our own ethnic background and appreciating it in a non-nationalist way, obviously. For myself personally, I'm starting to kind of understand that I don't need to cater to the patriarchal white supremacist beauty ideals that I have been very much embracing for my entire life. When I was young, I was very blonde, and that was a feature that I got so much praise for. And, it wasn't something that I was in control of. It wasn't something that I achieved, but everyone acted like it was just such a big deal and so impressive. And now, like, I completely understand that that comes from, definitely white supremacist beauty ideals, but also from a culture here in Greece where people definitely have a lot of xenomania for the blonde, blue-eyed foreigners that visit the country. And me having one of their features was considered like such a bonus for me. And now at this point, I'm just like, no, thank you. I do not want any of this attention. I do not care about it because it means nothing to me. The praise about being blonde means nothing to me at this point. And so I just want to go back to my natural hair, which is much, much darker. And that's it. And that obviously has nothing to do with plastic surgery, but it has a lot to do with understanding our own like roots and like me understanding that I am Mediterranean. I'm half Greek, half Portuguese. I'm never gonna look like a leggy, blue-eyed blonde. And I don't want to anymore. And that's been very, satisfying for myself to work through that and to work through all the conditioning that I received in this culture that was the ideal standard of beauty, and me realizing that, what, the people that look like that, good for them, but that's not the heritage that I come from. That's not how my ancestors look like. And what I want to do is start embracing the features of my heritage and start accentuating that and start embracing that. That being said, I think the reasons for getting plastic surgery vary tremendously. It can range from very problematic, for example, white women treating women of color as like a catalog of features that they can just purchase and place on their face, which I think that definitely not okay. It can also be done in order to fit better into beauty standards that are imposed by the patriarchy. For example, getting bigger boobs or a bigger butt. But you can be getting plastic surgery to make your lips fuller. You can be getting plastic surgery to make your boobs bigger. And it can have absolutely nothing to do with appealing to the male gaze or nothing to do with appropriating the features of women of color. You might just be getting fillers because you've been made fun of it and you feel insecure about it, and it's much cheaper to get fillers instead of pay for therapy to overcome that insecurity. And you might be getting boobs simply because you just love having bigger boobs and because you really enjoy expressing yourself in traditionally feminine ways, and one of those is having a fuller cup size. You know, the intention behind getting work done varies. I think the healthiest way to decide whether or not you're going to get work done is to make sure that you have identified whether this is an opinion that you actually hold or an opinion that you have in regards to your appearance that you've been conditioned to have. So, do you genuinely want a smaller nose? Or have you been conditioned to think that smaller noses are better? One argument that I've heard against this is that in reality, if you were like completely isolated and you couldn't be perceived by anyone, like no one was able to see you, would you get plastic surgery then? Which, that argument has a few holes in it. Because first off, if I was completely isolated and no one was able to see me, I'd probably not wear any clothes, most of the time. That doesn't mean that I don't like clothes. I love clothes and I love fashion. But I also love clothes because I love having fun with it and I love seeing other people appreciate it and enjoy what I'm wearing as well. Probably if no one would ever see me again, I would probably never brush my hair again. I'd probably also shave my whole head off. No, not my head, my hair. I wouldn't shave my head off. Maybe I would, if the isolation really got to me. But yeah, I would shave my hair off, but I don't want to shave my hair. I don't want to shave my hair if I know that people are gonna see me afterwards without my hair and notice how much I look like Dobie the house elf, I don't want to look like Dobie the house elf in front of other people. So that's why I'm not shaving my hair. Oh my god. So yeah, maybe if no one was ever gonna perceive you again, you wouldn't get plastic surgery, but also maybe you would. If there was like a robot that offered free plastic surgery services, even if no one was around to perceive me, I'd probably go try it out. And I'd be a lot more likely to actually try it out because I wouldn't care if the robot would mess up my face or not. To be quite honest, I'd just be like, let me entertain myself. Let's see, what will I look like? The other thing is that people say that the only reason why women get plastic surgery is because they want to fit into very sexist, patriarchal beauty ideals. But I really don't think that that's true. If we look at the beauty standards globally, they vary vastly. And not only that, there are certain cultures that, these cultures might be or might not be patriarchal, but they participate in body modification, which is what plastic surgery really is. It's just body modification. There's cultures that do stretching on their lips, on their ears, or like stretching their neck. And these cultures perceive these features as beautiful, and therefore they participate in body modification that gives them these features. And it has, I think, a lot more to do with culture in general than it has to do with the patriarchy. Definitely, certain forms of plastic surgery and certain people will be a lot more impacted by the patriarchy and end up getting plastic surgery in order to fit into those beauty ideals. But I think in most cases, it just has to do with the beauty trends that are relevant in the culture. Currently, beauty trends will always exist and they will always change. I don't think the beauty trends are ever stable, and humans will always be interested in altering their appearance in one way or another. And it's something that humans have participated in way before medicine, way before technological advancement ever happened, and it's something that we will continue participating in even after the collapse of our society due to climate change and until our inevitable extinction. One thing that I have not mentioned is ageism, and this is the one that I hold only one opinion. And I have no counter arguments for, because for me personally, of course, this does not apply to other people, but for me personally, I cannot see myself wanting to look older. And I can't see myself, when I do look older, to prefer to look older over looking younger. I have no issue with looking like this, or even like a few years younger than what I look like currently for the rest of my life. I think it was Cher in an interview, she was asked, like, when she was 60 or 70, the interviewer asked her, do you prefer being this age over, 10 years younger? And she's like, hell no, of course I'd prefer to be younger. Are you kidding me? And she was asked, does anything get better as you age? And she's like, nothing, absolutely nothing. And I relate to that opinion. Getting older definitely also usually comes with getting wiser and richer. And those are two things that definitely are great, having a little more financial stability and common sense. And those are the two things about growing up that are great, but also that comes with aching joints and maybe a hump and maybe a few rotting teeth and, also a lot of wrinkles. And I think it's totally okay to recognize that, yeah, I'm probably never gonna look as good as I looked like a year ago or 2 years ago. That's okay to recognize that and to not make it a big deal or something tremendously heartbreaking. Like, we all get old and we all die. Um, the last part, I didn't have to mention that. That was unnecessarily scary. But we all do get older. And I also think that women are much less allowed to get older than men are. And women are much more shamed for being older and ridiculed and judged for it. And that's a huge problem, I think, accepting women getting older. But I don't think it's a crime for someone to want to maintain their appearance as youthful as possible. I don't know. Is this problematic that I'm saying now? Like, I'm obviously not looking forward to my face becoming more wrinkly. Why would I look forward to that? But also, I'm not terrified of that. I accept it as something inevitable. And I'm also considering the idea of having things done in order to slow down the aging process. Currently, I'm starting to wear SPF all the time and not going in the sun. That's a step that I am taking in order to prevent premature aging on my face. Is me doing that ageist? Some people would say yes. To those people, I have to say, please stop it, stop. Just, what a great argument. Just please stop. But it's the same thing whether I'm applying sunscreen on my face and I'm not going out in the sun, and whether I'm paying someone to help me slow down the aging process. There's no difference. Actually, in the second occasion, I'm helping the economy. That is some neoliberal bullshit, but I don't know, maybe it convinces someone. I don't know if I've ever heard anyone mentioning this, but I know it has been a thought that has gone through my head, which is just judging women for spending money on plastic surgery and not like donating it to charity instead. But like, then we should also judge women for spending money on makeup and spending money on like beauty products and deodorant and like clothes and shoes, and like that's literally just participating in reinforcing the idea that we just need to judge women for everything that they do and making fun of every single thing that they do, that they like, and that they spend their money on. And so I'm not even gonna entertain that idea. I don't know why it even crossed my mind. Anyways, so that was a pretty long chat about plastic surgery. Let me know what your thoughts are. Have you had any work done personally, if you feel comfortable talking about it? I have to say that if I ever found someone that I trusted enough, which very unlikely because I have major trust issues, but if I did find someone that I trusted enough to, improve my face or just change it a little bit, I would definitely consider it. I don't think it's anything shameful. I don't think that it's anti-feminist to get plastic surgery done, especially if you're doing it being completely aware of why you're doing it. If you know the why, then I think it's it's the healthiest way to do it. So for me, my why would be definitely my job. I've been doing YouTube for the last 6 years, and that means you have to sit down for hours upon hours and edit videos, which means, you know, looking at myself for an unreasonable amount of time for the last 6 years, which I definitely don't think it's normal for any human to be exposed to their reflection for such a long time. And either my appearance is getting worse or I'm becoming increasingly intolerant of it. But I've reached the point where, like, I've created a lot of videos, edited them, and just simply not posted them because of how uncomfortable my appearance in them makes me. So for me personally, I would like to have more control over my appearance to the point where it doesn't sabotage my job. And I would also definitely like to feel more confident about it, because trying to work on it is not really working. And getting work done is so much cheaper than getting therapy for it, you know? And the only thing that has prevented me personally from taking action and actually like helping myself mentally, because this really is more for my mental health than it is for my physical appearance, has been the stigma that is attached to plastic surgery. And for me, it's not about catering to white supremacist beauty ideals or patriarchal beauty ideals. For me, it's just literally like fixing the things that bother me for me. I never get scrutinized for my appearance online, and anytime that that has happened, it's actually been pretty funny, and it's never really genuinely bothered me. It's exclusively something that I want to do for myself in order to make this job easier for me, because I don't want to stop doing YouTube. I just want to be able to cope with the side effects that come along with just having to look at your face for such a huge amount of time. And you could say you could just get a video editor, Kristen. And again, plastic surgery is cheaper than a video editor. Also, this is me with the finished blouse that I sewed. It's a very crappy job. I haven't grabbed a sewing machine in a really, really long time. But I'm really happy I did, because after that, I just could not stop sewing. I went on and on for like 2 days. Anyways, yeah, thanks so much for watching. If you want, you can like this video, comment below, share, and that's it. Bye-bye.